Good morning. Joanna, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Michael, good morning. Joanna, good morning.
Yeah, for sure.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Good to see you, Joanna. All right. Albert, Michael, are you guys going to connect with your camera today?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Oh, cool. All right. This class is about the stakeholders and how to engage with them. All right. So it's an important class since 70% of the work a project management does is managing stakeholders. All right. That is the work. That is the job. That is the responsibility, the main one of a project manager. Is not doing the project work. Is not being in the office all the time. Is not executing the task of the project. Is not. The job of a project manager is to manage stakeholders. And about 70% of the time is committed to that practice. So that's why this unit is critical, because a project manager that doesn't understand how to manage stakeholders, gone. 2 projects, gone. Participates in 2 projects, 3 projects, gone. Nobody would like to work with that person anymore. So it's a risky game, project management, because in project management, if you don't do your job properly, gone. It's a risky game. To minimize that risk, we do project management in the proper way. And what is that proper way? Is managing stakeholders to perfection. So first question. First question, what is the difference between a stakeholder and a project shareholder? Stakeholder or project stakeholder and project shareholder. What's the difference? Ideas, concepts, please go ahead.
Santi, I think someone who's sharing a project holder, or as you said, possibly is conducting the project with other leaders, or they're not as a team. Yeah.
Correct.
I think this is the idea, to have a weekly or I need 15 days, a certain meeting with the team of the project, and discuss the details, the risks which are involved, which you will have to do the next steps, something like that.
That is actually very, very spot on. That's correct. That is the stakeholder, right? Is anyone that is involved with the project goal. That was perfect, Michael. Anyone that is involved with the project goal. Suppliers, employees, insurance companies that are insuring the project, auditors that are auditing the project manager, the project stakeholders, the project sponsors, the project team, correct, Michael, correct. All of them, anyone that at any point has anything to do with the project goal, boom, stakeholder. Well done. What is a shareholder? Chat is active. What is a shareholder then? Joanna?
I have one question first.
Yep, sure.
So a stakeholder and project stakeholder, it's basically the same thing. It's just a different.
Oh, yeah. I was just trying to define the same word using to, yeah.
So it's just the difference between stakeholder and shareholder.
Yeah, what is the difference between the project stakeholder and the project shareholder? Or what is the difference between a stakeholder and a shareholder, which is the same thing. It's just that in project management, we call it project stakeholder.
Yeah.
In normal business environments, operations, we call it a stakeholder, but the responsibility, the accountability, the dynamic is exactly the same. Okay. So forget about that bit. That has been clarified. What is the difference between a stakeholder and a shareholder?
A shareholder, is that someone that owns a part of the company, like a stock or something?
Well done. So rephrase it now because we're talking about projects. Rephrase it, please.
A shareholder owns a part of the company and benefits from the goal of the project at the end.
A shareholder is anyone that has a financial interest in the project.
Okay.
All right. The shareholder doesn't need to be part of the company, Joanna. All right, because that is the beauty of project management. Projects are independent to companies, and you know that. It's a satellite operation. Satellite is outside the operation of the company. So it doesn't need to be someone that is working or having a benefit from the company. No, someone that has a financial interest in the project. Usually we call them investors, project investors. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've been teaching this unit many times, and I know that people get confused between stakeholder and shareholder. Not anymore. Now you know, guys, that stakeholders are anyone that is involved with the project goal, anyone. And now you know that shareholder is anyone that has a financial interest in a project, which means that every shareholder is a stakeholder, isn't it? But not every stakeholder is a shareholder. Let's test our friend Alvin. Alvin, what's the difference between shareholders and stakeholders?
They can actually both be the same, but
yep, yeah,
a shareholder a shareholder would be someone that does not have a specific responsibility in the project. Is that right? Is that the right term? But the shareholder is someone who's part of capitalizing.
Yes, yes, yes. The shareholder is capitalizing, is making money out of it. Correct. And they could be the same person. Correct. A shareholder is a stakeholder by default, but not every stakeholder is a shareholder. A stakeholder, Alvin, anyone interested in the project. That's it. Anyone with a participation in the project. Anyone that is helping us to achieve the project goal. Team members, suppliers. Investors, on the other hand, they have a financial, economical interest. Right, cool. Well done, Alvin. I just wanted to clarify this. So we are not talking here in this class about shareholders. We're talking about stakeholders. The class, Alvin, Albert, Damian, Michael, Joanna, the class is about how to manage stakeholders. So welcome to the new students. Damian, just wondering if you are there, if you can say hello, being the first class.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Damian?
So I'm Damian, I'm 33, and I'm back at the Diploma of Project Management because I couldn't finish because of COVID reason. So here I am back at the beginning at Project Management, and I'm living in the city.
Which city, Melbourne or Sydney?
Melbourne.
All right. So you were doing the Diploma of Project Management before?
Yeah, I started, but I couldn't finish it.
How many units you ran?
I was at the half of the project management.
All right, you did it with Lonsdale.
Yeah.
This program is with Lonsdale and SOT, the School of Digital. So it's two schools in one. So it's going to be different. Right?
Yeah, I already noticed all of the internet online and
the platform.
The platform, yeah.
Everything is different. The methodology, everything is different. The assessments. All right, cool. Are you going to continue like this without the camera? I just need to know.
No, I'm gonna have a bad one as soon as I can.
Sure. Nice to meet you, Mike. My name is Santi, and
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And I will be your teacher for a while.
Yep, thank you.
And yeah, the idea is to learn project management for real. That's it. That's it. For real and fast. That's it. It's very practical. You know, no BS in these classes. But the benefit is that the person that gets the diploma at the end of the journey knows, understands project management to the point that could apply for a project management position, no problem. And that's what they want. That's what they want. And that's what I see as my benefit. My benefit as a company is how many of our students are actually working as project managers. Salaries extremely high. It's one of the best professions right now in Australia. 120,000 per year is crazy. Yes, yesterday I was giving a class to marketing people, certificate 4, and the salary per year is 50,000. So when you have average salaries of 120 for project managers in seek.com.au, you say like, oh my goodness, this is really, really big. The reason it's really big right now, really hot, is because companies are changing so much in the last couple of years. The companies are evolving so, otherwise they die. I mean, they don't have any other option. And the only people, listen up, the only people that is prepared to take the company from A to B in a short period of time are project managers, only ones. Everybody else is so into the company's operation, is so contaminated by the company's operation, is so brainwashed by the company's culture. So brainwashed. That's why the project manager is outside the company. It could be someone working for the company, but it's outside the company's policies. Company's policies don't apply to the PM. The business structure doesn't apply to the PM. The PM is the project manager. The current processes of a company doesn't apply. The project manager is free and has one goal, which is achieve that project goal. If the company achieves that project goal, the company will change. If the change is positive, the company will implement that change and it will become operation. And that's how companies grow. So it's critical, project management, more than ever because of bloody COVID. You know, like COVID is affecting a lot of professions, yeah, but COVID is also, you know, skyrocketing other professions. One of them is project management. So popular now. All right, cool. Thank you, Damian. Michael, what about you, buddy? Could you please introduce yourself briefly to us?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Michael.
Actually, Santi, I'm from Brazil, okay? So there, I have worked as a project manager for about 3 years, you know, but I was not having a good salary, as you mentioned before.
Here in Australia?
Yeah, I'm here right now. I'm Sydney.
All right.
But before this, before I worked as a project manager, I worked as a mechanic fitter, you know, in the industry. So I got my first job here in Sydney. I'm working right now as a mechanic fitter, but I'm looking beyond, right? As soon as I can and find a job as a project manager here in Australia as well. So I'm going my professional life here step by step, you know. So I start doing something that I'm very used to. There's a mechanical fitter right now, and luckily I got a job on this field, and I hope that at the time goes by, you know, and I got some more experience on and I get a diploma on this course as well, and I can get a job here in Australia as a project manager.
Sure, and that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
This role.
I hope that.
This role is paying over $100,000.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
This role here is paying between $100,000 and $140,000.
Yeah, that's right.
This one here is paying $1,888 per day. Per day. This one is paying $1,100 per day. I mean, like, seriously, man,
it's
like
one of the best
look,
jobs here in Australia. Yeah.
It's unbelievable what is going on. 1,000 per day plus super. 100, 105 per hour. 150, 200,000 per year. 1,005 per hour. This is in the last 24 hours. It's unbelievable what is going on. Like, whew, it's crazy what is going on. I'm telling you, when my friends, my family, people that know, Santi, should I study business? Forget about it. Should I study marketing? No, mate. Should I study media and social? No, mate. Santi, I want to make money. I should study fashion design. No. Do project management. It's unbelievable. But the thing with project management is like with dentistry. You need to know the shit. You cannot fake it. That's the thing, you know. In marketing, people fake it all the time. Oh yes, I know how to do Instagram. I know how to do Facebook post, and they fake it. In business, it's so subjective. They fake it. Yesterday, I saw a post from someone that finished a master degree in business, something like that, or a bachelor degree in business, and was enrolled to do a master degree in business. And I was like, how ridiculous is this post? Because the individual, the person, was so proud with the title and the toga and the hat. Oh, I have finished my bachelor degree of business in a top ranked Australian university, La Trobe or Monash, don't remember now. Now I will be starting next month my master degree in business. And people were like, oh, you are great for that. And I was like, shit, man, show me your business. Where is the business? After $70,000 invested, and now you want to invest another 100. Where is your business? All that is bullshit. It's useless. A diploma will not give you a business. A different story will be, this is my bachelor degree in business, and this is the website of my business. My respects. So we need to understand that project manager or the project management doesn't allow you to talk bullshit, because you need to have a project. You need to be active in the field. Now, how you can do this? How can you achieve this? You need a diploma, because it's a certificate that allows you to work as a project manager. In the industry, doesn't allow you to work without the qualification. So in 7-8 months, you will have the qualification, everybody here, or some of you earlier, like Alvin and Joanna. Alvin and Joanna are halfway the journey now. But those of you who are starting in 7 months, the diploma of project management, it's a diploma, it's not a certificate, actually. Go and kill it, go and use it, go and get money, man. Like, Australia is just perfect for this profession. So Michael, my name is Santi, as I said before. Anything that you need, here I am. All right.
Thanks, mate.
Pleasure, man, pleasure. Brazilians, very competitive people. I know a lot of Brazilians. And
you know, Santi, I have a friend.
Yeah.
He is in Brisbane right now. But he works with me in Brazil, and in Brisbane he's working as a project manager. You know, he's already working on it. One question that I'd like to ask for you.
Sure.
PMI or PM book is mandatory, you know, on this kind of field, you know, to get a job on this industry. As
100%.
100%. So I have to add this this kind of certificate with a diploma of product management.
No. The PM book is how this program is being designed. Actually, that is our book. That's the one that we use.
That's right. But I have to be certified as a, you know.
You mean the PMI examination?
Yeah, that's right.
That examination is a very difficult one. You need to understand that. Even for experienced project managers, it's a very, very difficult one to achieve, because it's a very extensive and tricky examination.
Yeah.
So
I'm very aware of that.
So you're very aware of it. So it is good idea to have it, but it's not required for you to work as a project manager. What is required for you to work as a project manager in Australia is to have a certificate, a diploma, because it's high level, it's not certificate. We don't have certificates in project management in Australia. We have the level up, which is diploma. You need to have minimum a diploma of project management from an institution that can offer, you know, Australian certified project managers. project management like Lonsdale Institute. That's why we work in partnership with Lonsdale.
Right.
My business is a school of digital, so School of Digital, I cannot give that certification. It's crazy expensive, and you need to have a crazy amount of protocols to be able to provide a project management certification. Lonsdale does. So that's why we partnered to do this qualification, all right? The qualification will be enough for you. Now, as you advance, it's highly recommended that you start participating in the testing process. So you have the PMI certification by the Project Management Institute, which is the knowledge of the body of knowledge who developed the PMBOK. What I can tell you, and Alvin knows, and Joanna knows, is that we use the PMBOK, which is the base for that examination.
Right. Good.
Damian, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, so all
Just
good?
wondering, I've got a book from before with Lonsdale, the Project Management Essential. I just want to know if it's the same one.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Forget about it.
Right, thank you.
That is a pocket edition, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Good to have it as a resource, yes. Is the book that we use in this program? No.
Okay,
all right.
Thank you. Thanks.
But keep it. It's a good idea. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to, before we start, and Joanna and Alvin, you are familiar with the platform, but before we start, I'm just going to show you guys how to use the platform. All right. So Joanna and Alvin, if you have any questions as well, by the way, feel free. All right. So Damian, Albert, Michael, you have logged in the platform already. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to share my screen.
Santi, I think I'm unable to access the platform. So
Why?
So far, I have to go into the details. Something got wrong about my my name, something like that. It happened last night, so I didn't figure it out so far.
All right.
Didn't work it out, this problem.
All right. Let's check that. All right, I will go, for example, to Michael, just to make sure it's working. Then we check the email thing, could be an email issue. Let's check Damian, just in case. All right, so for example, this is Damian. If I go to Damian, then I'm going to launch as a student. This is what you guys see, all of you. All right, so once you're here, guys, what is important is to check this little icon here at the top. This little icon is like a calendar icon. All right, this is going to show you what is the class that day. All right, so it's important. It's important because this is how you know what class you have that day. All right, if you click on it, you're going to have more information. You know, what is the session name, what is the link to join the class, and so on and so on. Now, this is the qualification, which is Diploma of Project Management. All right, and this here is your username and details, your account details. You need to make sure that this is always up to date. Student number, last name properly written, name properly written. A photo will be ideal. You know, like I have 400 students, the photo helps. So I know, you know, who you are. All of those details. If you're working at night, you can use this thing here, which is enable night mode, and that will change everything to black. It's pretty useful when you work at night. All right. So once you click on this program, which is the one that you're doing, all right, this will show you what you need to do. So what you need to do, you need to do, in this particular case for Damian, 3 blocks: the people block, processes block, and technical block. And the learning plan is the next button there, is what will show you all your assessments, all your classes, and everything. All right. So if this is the unit, look at this, that we need to do. You see, manage project stakeholder engagement today, Saturday, 2nd of April. If this is the unit, all right, then you go to your learning plan. And in your learning plan, then you say, all right, yeah, cool. This is the lesson that I need to do. This is the assessment 1 that I need to do. This is the assessment 2 that I need to do. Now, very important, every time that you see the word observation here, it means that you need to do that assessment with me, with your teacher, because it's an observation of the job, the work that you do. All right. So if you see this one, don't worry about it. I will mark it for you. I will do it for you if I see that you are pretty good. Like, for example, with Joanna and Alvin, they don't need to do the observation assessments because they always participate in the classes. So I know they know, and I mark them automatically. And if I haven't marked them, I will. All right. But this observation is about participation in class. If you don't participate in class, if you don't came to the classes, you need to make sure that you create an appointment with me so we do the observation task. All right, but let's imagine that we have finalized this class 2 weeks, this week, next week. What will be the next class? Manage team effectiveness. And it will show you the lesson and the assessments. And what will be the next one, Damian? So on. So this is how the platform works. All right. So imagine that you want to do the class and you are not coming to this one-to-one class. What you do? You click here where it says lesson. All right. And I will show you all the content, all the videos that I pre-recorded for you. All my knowledge is there. All right. And then you say, okay, cool. I want to run this. So you can watch the video, for example, that explain what is stakeholder engagement.
Is how to manage a stakeholder engagement, a very important unit in the.
All right. And then you can begin the lesson, and then you can go through all the content that has been created for you. All right. Now, you need to go to the end until you see this button. Joanna, you need to do that, by the way, because I was looking at your profile, Joanna, you haven't done this. You have been in all the classes, Joanna, but you haven't done the digital part of it. You need to click this button here that says complete lesson, all right? Because when you click this button, this will send a qualification, a record that you have finalized your class. It works as an assessment for compliance purposes. So you always need to do that, all right? So I cannot do it because if I put complete lesson, I will be doing Damian's job. But that is for the lesson. Now, if you go back, all right, diploma project management, learning plan, imagine that Damian has done the lesson. This will be green color, green. Now it's yellow, you see, because now we started. But it will be green, which means that it has been finalized. All right. Now, this is the next assessment. So Damian will say, all right, now I'm going to do the assessment. And he will start with the assessment. Bam, ba, 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 you know, and 19 questions. All right. As you can see, for example, here, Michael, the first question is about the PM book. See? So that's how we do the program. Now, in the resources button here, Michael, Alvin, Joanna, Damian, Javier, you will have the PM book under student resources. This book is expensive, guys. It's expensive, very expensive. We're talking about $300 just in that book for you to have the right to use it. So use it. And that is amazing, that book, because it's digital. So you can search on it. It has hyperlinks. You need to download it, all right? Even if you, I mean, seriously, it's a good resource. It's the best resource that exists, all right? Whereas this other book, Project Management Pocket Guide, which is the one that Lonsdale sent you, it's too basic. It's not enough. This one in the student resources is the one that I want you to have. So download it, use it. Actually, you need it for the classes. So make sure that you have it. I will not download it because I have downloaded it 100 times and it's so heavy. But let me show you a little bit of it. So downloads. So this is the PM book. All right? That's the PM book. So if we go to the content, all right, we have here introduction, blah, 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 organizational systems, the role of the project manager, project integration, project scope management, project schedule management. Look the size of this. Project cost management, project quality management, project resource management, project communication management, project risk management, project procurement management, project stakeholder management number 13. Go to the platform, download the book, go to the chapter 13, please, right now. Joanna, you already have downloaded the book, yeah? Alvin, you as well? Good. So thank you for waiting and holding there. Michael, Albert, Damian, please go and download that book. I'm going to show you again how you do it, just in case you miss it. You click on this logo, on this logo that says Lonsdale and Sot. That will take you to the home page always. This logo here. And then you click your program, Diploma of Project Management. And then you click on resources. And then you click on student resources. And then you click on the PM book. That will give you the book.
Thank you.
All right, Javier, how are you, mate?
Good, good. Good to see you in person.
Finally, man.
Yeah, I know it was a bit of a pain, but everything looks, yeah, pretty easy to understand so far. So
It's going to be very straightforward. So you don't have access to the platform yet, yeah?
Not yet. I sent you an email yesterday with the new email that I created, and yeah, I haven't received anything back.
Did I reply it now?
No, you replied late to the first problem, but then I gave you the email, like a new address. I
And
think it
what
was,
time? So you sent it at night time, probably. right?
yeah. Like I didn't expect you to reply yesterday, right? No
Yeah,
worries.
haven't checked it. Look,
It's
I'm
okay,
going to
it's okay.
check this out. So this is your name, Javier.
Yeah.
All right, just let's check that your details are correct. So this is the email that I have from you, palm3mediacompany@gmail.com.
Yes.
All right, now let's see if we can access to your platform. So this is your platform. This is the diploma.
Yeah.
This is the learning plan. All right, so the platform has been created for you, I believe. Yep, everything is there, all good. So this is your platform. Now you need to access to it. How we do it? Let's do the following. I'm going to go to your record. All right, I'm going to resend you the invitation now. Check it out. So a link will be sent to this email.
Yep.
Sent. All right, it was
It
sent.
happens.
Beautiful.
My name is Albert, by the way. Those are
Albert.
my two surnames, but I'll change it.
It's not Javier.
No, it's like the surname, like Javier is the surname, but I guess they just put my two surnames. But it's fine.
Let's fix that. Let's fix that.
It's okay.
Let's fix. Actually, you can fix. Yeah, try to find it. You can log in now.
I'll go to.
So
Oh
go
yeah,
to your,
spam.
go to your spam folder.
The link to yesterday's class.
All right, so try to finish your login, and I will continue. May take you 5 minutes. All right, guys. So now that you are Alvin, Joanna, Michael, I want you to go to the platform. I want to go to the learning plan, and let's start with the lesson. All right, let's do the lesson first. So once you're in the lesson, let me know, Joanna, Alvin, and Michael, and Damian, please. And let's confirm, Joanna, are you there in the lesson?
Yeah.
Alvin as well? Michael, you got it as well, the lesson?
Yeah, I am.
You
see, Santi, I'm trying to get inside the platform. It's not succeeding well so far. Something wrong with my name. Let me see here.
Do you want to share your screen just for me to see what you see?
Just a moment.
I am not getting the email. Let me see. I'm not receiving it.
Let me send it again. All right, checking. I just sent it again. Checking 1 or 2 minutes to see. Let me know if you don't.
Oh yes. No.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time because it needs to create your user and so on. All right, so complete the instructions there. And meanwhile, Michael, do you want to share your screen?
I'm trying to do this, and how can I do this sharing with you?
All right, there is one in the Zoom interface. If you scroll down, you will see a bar at the bottom that says mute, stop video, security, participants, chat, share screen.
Yeah. Right. Are you watching?
Yes, I'm watching. I'm watching. I can see that has been unlinked. No worries. Yeah, I understand what problem is that one.
You
So
see,
yes,
the
yes.
username, Santi, was unlinked from the user Michael Herman.
I understand. All right, let's try again. Yes, I can see the problem now. Let me just do a change here and I will send you a new invitation. Yep, you're right. I can see that here. Just let's confirm. I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you confirm, Michael, this is your email?
That's right.
Is correct?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to send the invitation again. It will take 2 minutes. You will receive a new email.
Mhm. Yeah, arrived here.
Beautiful. So follow the instructions there. Damian, are you in the platform now?
Yeah,
All right, cool.
but I think I've got the session element and performance criteria.
Do you want to share your screen for me to
Yeah.
see? Beautiful. So go to the logo at the top that says Lonsdale Institute and Sort of Digital. Click on that one. All right, click in Diploma of Project Management. Go to Learning Plan. Scroll down. All right, and
Okay,
open the lesson, the first one. Yep, open that one. All right, cool.
Nice. Thank
Stay
you.
stay there for a second. All right.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to be there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where's the DPM book? Sorry.
The DPM book. All
I
right.
logged in well and
So you are in the platform now, Albert?
yeah, I click diploma and then there's activity overview, announcement sessions,
No
learning
worries.
plan, I guess. No.
Yeah, sure. No. Let me show you, Albert.
Okay.
Joanna, Alvin, thank you for the patience. All right.
Sorry, guys. Nice to meet you, everybody.
That's all right. We all go through this moment because we have people entering every 3 months, 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's all good. It's all good.
And the new guy.
The new guys, it's all good. That's why this is good, isn't it? Look, so in my screen, Albert, I will go to your platform.
Yep.
So courses intakes. So for you to access the book and download the book, what you need to do, you click Diploma of Project Management, then you go to Resources.
Resources, okay.
But then you need to go to Student Resources.
Okay.
Student Resources, here is the PM book.
Okay.
Good. All right, Diego, how are you?
Good, Santi, and you?
Yeah, good, Diego.
I'm not at home, so I have to connect with my internet.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna have the camera on today.
No way. No worries, Mike. No worries. All good.
Thanks, Santi.
974 pages, that book.
That book is comprehensive. Yes, very. But believe me, it's so well written. It's so well written. It's so well written. It's easy to understand if you read it. And the trick is, if you don't understand something, ask me straight away. Because in project management, if you don't understand a word, the concept will not be clear. But it's so good. You know, the good thing about project management is that if you read that book and you get to know that book, you will be a powerhouse. It's like with the lawyers. You know, the lawyers, they need to read and understand all the, you know, the literature and the code of practice of the profession. It's the same with project management. You need to study that book a lot. You need to know that book. That's the Bible. A lot of people call it the Bible in project management because it's like, this is the knowledge. And actually, that's why it's called a body of knowledge.
Sorry, Santi.
Tell me.
Once I already put my that email that you sent to me, you know, I already put my details on that. How can I proceed? You know, there's a page that I can put my details there. I mean, it's not working so far.
Do you want to share your screen? All right, so gotta be because one of the information is not correct, probably the password. Can you write on forget password?
No.
It doesn't allow. All right, cool, do that.
The link has already been used to create an X-Ray account. Where's the page, the original page that I get there and log in with my information?
I don't know. Let's try the following. Can you use your email? Did you add your phone number, your mobile number when logging?
Yeah, no, just my email.
All right. Can you click on forget password or you can sign in? All right, go there. Go there. All right, do that if you want. So stop sharing the screen and try to do that to see if that works. So Albert, can I confirm that you are in? Damian, can I confirm you are in?
Yep, all good.
Beautiful. Michael, I'm going to start, but don't worry. If you have any issue, I'm going to talk with our IT department. They will try to fix it like this.
Right.
All right, so let's go to the lesson. Otherwise, you know what, Michael, forget about it. And just, I'm going to share my screen, all right?
Okay.
For you to see your profile, don't worry.
So now we are activity, people blog, and manage project stakeholder engagement. And that's where we're at today, I guess.
Yeah, so now, and this is for all the classes, you need to have in your computer the PM book, which is this, and because this is how we research, and you need to have in another window the platform. So you need to have in one window the PM book, and then in the other one the platform. All right, that's how it works. So I will go to Michael.
Santi, it has worked right now.
All right, cool. So I will not be using. I will not be.
Thanks for your help.
No. I will not be using yours then. I will be using somebody else's. Now you can do it yourself. All right, so your view may be a little bit different to mine, all right, because I am accessing the platform as a trainer. So it could be a little bit different, all right, but it's the same content. So let's start with the class. Just remember that you need to click on the buttons as we advance. All right, let's start with this. Pay attention to this video.
Hello, everyone. The name of this unit is how to manage a stakeholder engagement, a very important unit in the project management program. Why? Because 70% of the work a project manager needs to do is about negotiation and communication. You need the stakeholders to play with you. You need to conform a team to develop that very project that you have. In this particular unit, I will give you all the skills, all the competencies to engage with that team in order to get the best of your project management skills. I will see you in class. Bye for now.
All right, so important points.
Hello, everyone. The name of this unit is how to manage a stakeholder engagement, a very important unit in the project management program. Why? Because 70% of the work.
So that is the first point. 70% of the work a project management does
to do is about negotiation and communication.
So it's the bulk, it's the core of the work that we
do. You need the stakeholders to play with.
Now you know what is a stakeholder, and now you don't get confused with shareholders.
You need to conform a team.
So we need to create a team for the project, and that team will be with us as we have the project.
To develop that very project that you have. In this particular unit, I will give you all the skills, all the competencies to engage with that team in order to get the best of your project management skills. I will see you in class. Bye for now.
All right, cool. So now we know what is the core. The core is managing the stakeholders, understanding that that is 70% of the work that we do. All right. Let me just put this at the top. So now that you have watched that video, now you can go to begin. All right. And now we start with this. All right. So we need to identify stakeholders. All right. So let's talk about potential stakeholders, clients, the community, internal parties, external parties, sponsors, suppliers, team members, and users. So as Michael was saying, a stakeholder is anyone that is associated with the project goal. Well done. Look, project goal, project objectives. Good. That was spot on, Michael. Well done. All right. Now, let's check this out, because every stakeholder, each one of them, they have a different level of association with the project, depending on the power they have and the interest they have in the project. Let's check this out.
Hello, it's your friend Phil, project management trainer and coach. What is a stakeholder register and a power interest?
I'm not going to play all of this. Just let me show you. Let me show you what really matters.
Have a high level.
All right. So this is not a good image. Just let me try to go. This one is good. All right, cool. So I want you to check this. We have stakeholders, but we have two variables always with a stakeholder, always. One is the power of that person, the power. And the other one is the interest. The interest in what? In the project. How important that project is to them. That is the interest. How important is that project to that individual? That is the interest. Now, what is the power? What is the power of someone in a company? How likely is someone to obey, to follow the direction, the instruction of that individual? So I'm going to stop here for a while. Pay attention to me. Some people in the company have a lot of power. A lot of power. Example, company directors. The CEO, total power, isn't it? Some people don't have much power. The receptionist, to be honest, little power. All right? Little. The assistant, little power. The coordinators, little power. But the directors, the managers, more or less, medium power. But the directors, the board, the CEO, powerful people, which means that if they give you an instruction, a direction, usually people follow that direction. Usually. You don't need to follow directions all the time. It's free. You may say, no, that's not right. I will not do that. Oh, all right, but there is a better way to do this. Let me show you. So that's okay. But usually, these people with power, they have a lot of experience. So usually what they say is correct, usually. So we follow them. That's called leadership, isn't it? We follow our leaders, and we need leaders. We need those leaders to tell us where to go. All right, so that is power. But another important thing is understand what is influence. Some people have a lot of power, but little influence. Some people have a lot of influence, but little power. The receptionist, for example, we were talking about it, a lot of influence. The receptionist knows everyone in the company, and they can talk to everyone, and they can influence people at social level. But in terms of power, very little. All right. So now that we understand what is power and interest, let's continue with this. All right. When you have stakeholders that have little power and little interest, you just need to observe them. You just need to keep an eye on them so they don't get hurt or they don't get into situations that are difficult to manage. But you don't need to inform them. You don't need to tell them anything about the project, to be honest, because they are not connected that much to that project goal. They are just doing a little bit of work that is related, but nothing critical. Now, you have people with a lot of power, but they are not that interested in the project because they belong to a different department. Imagine that you are doing a project that is related to a financial system for the company. A financial system to run accounts, to pay invoices. You want to automate the payment of invoices, for example. So, and then you have a stakeholder, which is, for example, the marketing manager. The marketing manager or the marketing director has a lot of power, but is not that interested in the financial component of the company. So for that kind of stakeholders, you need to keep them satisfied. How you keep them satisfied, that kind of people? By talking to them, by knocking their doors, by going into their offices. By going into the offices and saying, hey, good morning, how are you? And and have a coffee there and sit down comfortable in the next chair. How is life going? Yeah. What is the project that you are working on right now? Do you want me to tell you a little bit about my project? Is there anything that I can do for you? Do you want me to include any of the benefits of my project into your department? All right. Talking. So Australian, man. This is so Australian, that component. Australians, they talk. But that opens a window for the person, for the stakeholder to say, oh yeah, by the way, is it possible that you look at that financial system so we also can use that system to pay our contractors in marketing? And then you will go, yeah, that is included. Don't worry. That is, oh, awesome. Thank you. And then you keep the relationship going. All right. That is with people that you have to keep informed, that you need to keep happy because they have power. Right? Now, there is another kind of people, that is people with a lot of interest in the project, you know, interns, coordinators. They will be using the new system, but they have little power. You need to keep them informed. And this is what the managers do. You know, they meet with the team, they meet with the coordinators once a week, which is what Michael was saying, I reckon, and you tell them, all right, this is how we're going, you know, you keep them informed about things, but you don't need to manage them close. Now, when you have people that have a lot of interest and a lot of power, you need to be with them, managing them, close to them all the time. All the time. So look how different. When you have someone with a lot of power and interest in your project, you need to manage that individual close. You need to be next to them all the time. You need to send them reports all the time, or you need to ask them for reports all the time. You need to meet with them all the time. You need to make sure that they are doing their part all the time, close. Whereas with this one, which is the opposite, you just need to observe, monitor them. All right. So that grid, this is a grid. This is called the stakeholder grid. It's something that you need to remember. What are the two variables? That is part of the test, the assessment. The two variables are power and interest. All right, cool. So that is all that we need for that video. You don't need to watch it now. All right, so let's keep going.
Hi, Santi.
Yep.
Just for adding, you used to, you know, that matrix RASI. You know, that's a kind of tool for use for this kind of, you know, involvement of the team and who are involved, the stakeholders themselves. With this matrix, you can propose some kind of who is going to be informed. You see, who's going to do something action, you know. When I was working as a project manager, I used to, you know, put in practice this matrix.
If you have any form or you have any screenshot or anything that you can share with us, please send it to me. I will add it to the resources folder.
Right, right. Because my last job in Brazil was working in a mining company.
Yeah.
There are certain periods during the year that you had to who had a great stoppage of a certain section of the machineries. So during this period, you used to use this kind of matrix, you know, to communicate and negotiate, you know, with all the team which are involved on the project.
Right.
So
can
I'm
you
going
add,
to send you? Yeah, I'm going to share with you later.
please do, because it sounds pretty interesting. So once you have something, a link to the website or a pro forma or whatever, send it to me. And this goes for everyone. If you find something interesting, or if you have applied something in the past, just send it to me. I add it to the resources package for all of us to see.
Done. I'll send you something that I create in my last job for you, if you can we can.
Because that practical experience is important in this class. You know, that is really what we want to do. We want to have a very practical, very down to earth class. All right, cool. Thank you, Michael. Please do that. All right, so we need to find out what is the financial interest of someone, what is the emotional interest of someone. A lot of people work on projects because they want to feel that they are part of it. They want to feel proud of being part of a project. They want to be part of the transformation of the company. All right. Other people, they want to be there because they want to be the driving forces or support others that are working in the project. So there are different motivations, but I'm going to tell you something, guys. From a practical perspective, in project management, the motivations are the following. One is money. That's okay. You want to get some good money out of a project. That's okay. Nothing wrong with it. All right. I like it. Actually, when I participate in projects, I want to find out what will be my benefit in terms of money. And you can negotiate this with your project manager. Imagine that you are part of a project as a project team. You need, if you have experience, you know, if you have some previous projects under your belt, you can say to your manager, look, I'm busy, but if you want me to participate in this project, let's talk about money. What bonus I will have if we achieve the project goal? And the project manager will go, oh, it's my boy, so you want a bonus? Yes, I want a bonus. How much do you want? I want $4,000. All right, cool. Sign that if we achieve the project goal, you will receive $4,000. Yes, sign it. Done. Project goal achieved, $4,000. That's how it is. Project management, remember, doesn't follow the company's rules. Remember that I told you the company's rules is a salary. That is operational. That is difficult to change. Project management, you get out of your comfort zone, out of it. So you negotiate with your project manager because you don't need to say yes. You know what I mean? You need to say yes to the roles and responsibilities that you are being paid for as an employee, of course. But projects are different things. So if they invite you, you say, all right, but what is my benefit? All right, I want money. Cool. Now, some people don't want money because they have plenty. Seriously, man, a lot of people that work in projects, they don't need more money or they don't want more money, but maybe they want recognition. And that's something that happened to me. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. About 8 years ago, I was involved in a huge $2 million digital transformation project here in Australia. $2 million, huge project. And they told me, what do you want? I said, I want recognition. I want you guys to write and publish what I have been doing in this project. Oh, all right, cool. I knew at that time of my career, 8 years ago, something like I knew that I didn't, I mean, money, of course, everybody wants money, but at that time, for me, money was not the critical component. For me was someone writing about me, my participation. So then I can use that to leverage and get a better job, opportunity, project, whatever the case is. So let me show you this, guys, what I mean, so you understand this. Remember, it's very, very practical. Everything I tell you is because I have done it before. If I haven't done it before, then I call an expert. All right, so this is my website, by the way, for those of you who want to get closer, santivela.com. I was working for this company here, Kenwood Australia. Kenwood Australia is a huge, huge company. And I was developing all the digital transformation project for this company, all right? So this is the context. This is the company. And where is my site? All right. Anybody knows who is this guy? Alvin knows.
Oui.
This is Gary. Yeah. All right, cool. Albert is in the communication industry. Albert also knows, yeah. Gary V. All right, cool. So let me try to find it. Where is that? So this is what I was trying to find. You know, publications, people talking about the job I did. So HubSpot, they love it. They love what I did for this company, Kenworth. Look, Kenworth. Yeah, they love it. They were like, that guy just killed it there. All right. The case study is not there anymore, unfortunately. Oh, shit. Oh, no, it is. It is. Guys, check it out. Santiago, prior to HubSpot, Santiago faced several challenges. You know, this thing of HubSpot writing about me. Santiago, you see, all of that. Santiago, oh, again, oh, shit, all good. HubSpot Academy, certifications, blah, 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 blah. A long, for Santiago, the results, you know, all of that. Even a photo of me here, you see? That was more important to me at that moment than money. More important. Because if I send a link to someone about my work with Kenworth Australia and HubSpot, boom, you know, it opens doors. So it's more important than money at that time. It's called recognition. All right. Some people don't want money. Some people don't want recognition. Some people want time. All right. Some people don't want money. Seriously. Especially here in Australia, there is a lot of people with a lot of money. They don't need another $1,000 bucks. They don't need another 4,000. A lot of people don't need money. A lot of people don't need more recognition. They already have a lot of recognition. So they are not going to trade their skills and time for you to recognize them. No. Some people want is just to have more time, more free time. So what they will tell you is, I participate in the project, but if the project achieves the project goal, you give me 2 months off, so I can go to Europe. And the project manager goes like, fuck, 2 months. That's a lot of time. Yes, 2 months. And I want to receive my payment as normal. No holidays. I just want to live. Happens to be that this person is so good, and we need that person in the project, that the project manager will go, all right, if that's what you want, go. And then you sign it. If we achieve the project goal, whatever it is, if we achieve it, you go out 2 months. The rules of the company don't apply, you see, because projects are satellites. If this is the company, the project is here, separated. So that's what I want you to understand from a practical level, because if you read the document there, it's for compliance purposes, so we need to write a million things for the Australian government to say, yes, they are teaching everything. That is, what I'm telling you is what really matters. When you talk to your team, you need to find the motivations, and the motivations are money or recognition or time. When you are 20, 25, what is that you want? You want recognition because you are starting in your career. No, you don't need much money, Michael. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're not married, you don't have kids, you don't have a mortgage. You know, sometimes you live with your parents when you just finish uni. But what is that you want? You want recognition. You know, when I have been working as a speaker here in Australia for almost 15 years. When I started working as a speaker, I was working for free. I did like about 100, probably more. But imagine 100 speeches, no charge, no charge, no, nothing. Now I get paid $2,000 for a speaking gig, which is nothing impressive compared to someone like Gary V. But that's how I met Gary V, for instance. But after 100 or so of free speeches. Why? At that time, I was looking for recognition. Just to get traction in the industry. And that's why, by the way, here in this site, if you go to conferences, for example, which is this button, this page at the top level here, I have added the paid conferences here. Look, Santiago Vela, Santiago, all of these, Torrance University, plenty of conferences that I have participated now as a paid speaker. But as a result of many conferences that were not paid, because I was looking before that, before this, for industry recognition. That was what was important to me at that time. So, but when you are 35, 45, 50, you don't need more recognition. You have built your career. People already know you. But what is that you need? Money. At that time, you need money because you're paying the mortgage, you're paying the school for your kids if you have, you're paying, you know, to build up your future, to leave a financial legacy. So you want money. But when you are 60, you don't want more money. When you're 65, you don't want more. What you want is more time so you can enjoy life, isn't it? So this is how you need to analyze the stakeholders, guys, as a project manager. You don't need to tell them this, though. Please, you don't need to tell them. This is the secret of the profession. But you need to assess every single person in your team using these three variables: money, recognition, time. Believe me, every single person wants one of those three more than the other two. Believe me. Believe me. I'm telling you, if there is something I want now, it's money. I will not be trading my time anymore for recognition. No, I got it. I've been working non-stop, man, for 15, 20 years to get the recognition that I needed. If somebody tell me, Santi, came here, do a job for us, we are going to write an article, I will say, no, mate, sorry, I need to be paid. So now you want money. That's it. But I am pretty sure, and I have the energy to work. Yesterday, I went to sleep 3 a.m., you know, just getting everything organized. Who cares? But now I am not into money, into recognition. I want money. But I'm pretty sure that in 10 years, I will be tired. I want to be traveling. I want to be doing other things that is not work related. Now I love it, and it's part of myself. And I have the stamina, the energy. But in 10 years, I want to be just in Italy, man. And that's when I will be saying, people, you know what? If you want me to participate in that project, give me all the benefits of me don't having to work for 2-3 months. And that's what people do. You know, when people are at that level, they are just going around the world. It's awesome. All right. So that is for you to understand how to analyze your stakeholders. So let's go back to the platform. All right. So now that you know this, please, everybody go next. All right. We have talked a lot about the expectation of stakeholders when we talk about the motivation. So go next. All right. All right. So now let's check that video.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Witt, Director of ProjectManager.com.
Guys, it's 10:27. So after this video, we go for a break. All right.
Well, welcome to our whiteboard session today on how to manage stakeholder expectations. One of the biggest complaints we have from project managers are, how can we ever manage the expectations of all these stakeholders? It's just too much to keep track of. Well, we want to give a few reminders today some cues that may tip you off that maybe expectations are out of alignment, and some things you can do for prevention. So let's look at some reminders. I want to remind everyone that not everyone is a stakeholder. So many times when a project is initiated, there are different people within the organization, other client members, other team members, other vendor partners who try to give impact and feedback and request changes. And we need to remember they aren't necessarily stakeholders. Typically, all organizations that are impacted by the project have stakeholders who are represented on the project and members of the change control board, but they have a representative that they go to, that they answer to for the organization. So not everyone is a stakeholder. The formal stakeholders are documented typically in your charter and or your project plan. So the stakeholders, they will be identified by the name, the role that they're playing on the project, and the organization they're representing. So those are the true stakeholders. Anyone else from those organizations who have feedback.
All right, so now we know that for us to call it a stakeholder, we need to have a register of that person in terms of what is the name, minimum. There are many other variables that we need to add, but minimum, what is the name of that person? What is the role of that person? What is the company of that organization that person works for? What is the responsibility in the project of that person? So that is called as well a stakeholder register. In the PM book, it's called stakeholder register, all right?
Need to be redirected to their stakeholders for them to provide the input through them. Then number two, they being the stakeholders, they're who the project manager answers to. And again, they're documented, so they're the people that you look to for guidance. Number three, a reminder that the stakeholders typically have multiple projects going on, so they're attending a million meetings, they have a million tasks they're responsible for, they're looking at a lot of reports.
Because the projects are temporary. You need to remember this, guys. I'm going to stop here for a while for the new ones, because I know that Alvin and Joanna know. Joanna, by the way, where is Lina?
I don't know where she's. I thought she sent you an email.
All right. Guys, the situation is the following. Just give me 1 second. Right, all projects are temporary. If something is ongoing, it's not a project. It's not. It's called operations. I want you to divide your brain right now. If anything that you do or the company does is ongoing, it doesn't have a deadline, it's called operations, company operations, business operations. Those are not projects. People that work within the company environment, they follow processes that are related to operations. All right, so please don't get confused. Now, if you are working on something that has a deadline that needs to be ready by X date, that's a project. So all projects, no exemption to the rule. All projects have a deadline. And when we have the deadline, then we create a timeline, which is when we start, when we finish. Operations are ongoing. You never stop operations, because if you stop operations, the company, the business stops. Now, what you need to understand is that when you get to the deadline, to the end of the project, if the project is bringing benefits to the company, the project absorbs the project and it becomes operational.
Hi, Santi.
Yeah.
You want to take a look on, when you are creating the project, you are building the project. You see, it's the first step, the first phase of all the project until the deadline, until you get the deadline. You're going to take a look on it as well.
What was the last question? Sorry, I missed it.
Are you going to take a look on this part? I mean, when you are building with the stakeholders, with with the team members, the design, you know, how getting the inputs from the stakeholders. You'll get a look on it as well.
Yes, of course. We need that is something that we have in the project management plan, which is covering everything from the very beginning, even before the project starts, to the very end, and even after the project ends.
Yeah, because you know why I'm saying that, because all that expectations were created at the beginning. You see, they have to be succeeded. You know, that must be happen on the deadline when we.
That is so true, man. That is so true, man.
You see,
That is
because
so true.
yeah, you'll be because somehow you're going to be charged, you know, when you deliver this project, if some inputs were not delivered as we planned before,
as we promised. Yes,
as
so
we promised, you know, because as you told you, when we are knocking the door from a director, you know, and hear about the expectations that he needs about this project, when the project ends up on the final course, you'll be charged, you know, if the promise will not succeed.
You will be responsible for that, and your entire reputation will fail if you don't meet stakeholders' expectations, because you did a promise when you started the project. I will be doing X with these resources, with this, within this timeline, and within this budget. So
Yeah.
if you don't do that, if you achieve something outside the budget, if you achieve something outside the timeline, if you achieve something outside the time frame, you are not doing a good job. Even if you achieve it, you didn't meet the expectations.
Yeah, or change the scope, right?
Fantastic, because that is what happens when you don't meet the expectation in terms of the project scope. The project scope is the combination of the time frame, the timeline, the resources, and the budget that you have. That is important. That is critical what Michael is saying here. We need to meet those expectations. If we don't meet those expectations, we as project managers, we fail. What happens then is that our reputation goes down and we stop being invited to participate in the next project. What you want to do is, if you are working, I just want to clarify something. Some people work in companies, but they are not project managers all the time. They are managers of a particular department, and they are invited to be project managers. And they want to do that because, remember, you negotiate and you say, I want more money, I want more time, I want, yeah. All right, cool. Some people do that. They work on projects as on demand. And you want to keep the reputation up always. Other people, they are always project managers and they go from company to company. You see what I mean? Some project managers, they are hired by companies for 6 months contract. All right, thank you, you have done it, bye. And then they go to the next company. Super important to understand. The project manager doesn't need to be someone that is working in the company. Doesn't. But the project sponsor, always, the person that is sponsoring the project, the person that is approving the project, always needs to be someone within the company. Oh, thank you for that, Michael. That is a really, really, really good approach. And that's why, I mean, you know, experience brings us this kind of insights. This is an insight. It's the result of knowledge plus experience, which is what you have. And that always gives us a benefit in terms of knowledge to the class. Well done. All right, cool, guys. So not much to see in terms of that video. If you want to, and that's something that I want to reaffirm now, you can go to that lesson 100 times if you want, and you can watch the videos once again. But we go, because I have done this program, I know what is the point where I need to stop. So it's 11:37, 10 minutes. All right, go and have a break, go and have a coffee. I will see you 10:45, 10:47, okay? beginning of the project, as we were talking with Michael, we need to make a commitment. We need to make a promise. And that promise is, what is that I can do for you before I start the project? And now it becomes a promise. But you give the opportunity for that stakeholder to tell you, hey, Santi, this is what I want you to do. This is what I would like you to include in your project. And then you will say, all right, all good, thank you. And then you go and you include them in the scope, obviously, after you discuss this with the project sponsor, all right? But let's imagine that the other person, the stakeholder, says, no, Santi, don't worry. I don't need you to do anything for us. You did the consultancy aspect of it. And they say, no, I don't want anything. And then 3 months later, they go to you and say, hey, Santi, I need you to do something now. You say, no. Sorry, too late. There was a time. Santi, I insist, I really need you to help me with this. All right. So then fill a form that is called, and please don't forget about this form. It's called, oh my goodness, change request. It's called a change request. So once you fill that change request, you a stakeholder that you are late in the process, fill this change request, and then I will discuss this with my project sponsor. The change request will be asking that person why you want to include this in the scope. Are you sure you want to include in the scope? Do you understand that this could affect the budget of the project? Do you understand that this could affect the resources of the project? Sign it. And a lot of stakeholders, when they read all of it, they say, you know what? No, it's too late. I will not fill the form. You know, but if they fill the form, then you need to ensure that you consult with the project sponsor. Don't forget about that form, please. Change request, which is a form that everybody in project management needs to fill if someone is asking you to change the scope.
That means you have to redo all of the scope and everything, or?
Exactly right. That means that the scope that before was like this, now it will be like that, and you need to redo the whole scope. You need to make sure that you have the resources to include that new task. You need to make sure that you have the enough time for you to complete that new task. So probably the timeline will be expanded, and you need to make sure that you have the people that will help you to execute that new task. So the resources in terms of people also will be expanded. So 100%, Damian. If you approve the change request, the entire scope will be different. You will be, and that's why at that moment, when you say yes to that stakeholder, pain in the ass, that stakeholder is a pain in the ass because you were doing everything well. And now this person came, hey, I want something else. And you were like, no, man. But the problem is that in project management, we cannot say no.
Yeah, just for adding, Santi, you know, how I run a plenty of projects so far, you know, using my experience. Most of the time that the sponsor, you know, he has as well the owner of that area, of that part of the company.
Yes, he's a top guy, isn't he?
He controls it. Yeah, and most of the times, 1 or 2 stakeholders are below him. You know, those guys must report to this sponsor. So while you are conducting your project, you see, you are implementing your project. I'm telling you about my experience.
Yes, please.
Sometimes these stakeholders, which are on this part of the industry, they tell you to add something on the scope, right? They do not put on the initial phase.
Exactly.
Yeah, but and the sponsor, most of the times he will agree with that, you know. Even if you fill a document expressing that you are going to put something else on the project, or a scope change, you know, as you told me. The most of the time the sponsor will agree with that. So you see, he'll not reject the idea even if this idea come further, you see.
Yeah, I know, because those are politics within the project, and the project sponsor is very, very politically aware.
Yeah,
And-
that's why, you know, the project manager has to be this kind of ability, you know, in the middle of the game, you
It's in
see.
the 100%.
You know, all right, let's going to see what you brought to me right now. Let's going to make a kind of assessment, you know, on the place that is possible or not to put in practice that thing, something like that, you know, to be. But this part of the game, the project manager must be political as well, you see.
Yeah. And that's why you cannot say yes. That's why you cannot say no. You say, fill the change request.
Yeah.
We assess the change request. If the sponsor approves it, all right, that's another story. Now, be careful with this, because if the project sponsor approve it, you need to change the scope, as you were saying. So the scope baseline will change. And that means that the baseline of the timeline will change, and the process of resources in terms of the scope, people, tools, technology that you require, providers, suppliers, will change as well. Yeah, but the sponsor say yes. So now the sponsor is saying to everyone in the company, the team, is my decision, and I am accountable for it. If the project fails, because I approved this project change request, I am accountable for it. The project manager is not accountable, he's responsible. It's very different. The problem is not the project manager, because the project manager has someone on top of it. As you say, Michael, the project manager is in the middle. Fantastic. It's really good that you understand the dynamics of it. And this is exactly, seriously, what I want Albert and Damian to get in the next 2-3 months. I want you guys, and you will, believe me, if you came to the classes, you pay attention, you will get to that point of knowledge to find a job, to get a job in project management. Thank you, Mike. All right, so as we have just decided, the most important thing is consultancy. All right, so just press next. We have talked a lot about this. Don't need to worry much about that. We have talked about the time frames, the roles, the responsibility. We understand that communication could be verbal, no verbal, all of it. You know that. Go to the next one. And here we talk a little bit about communications. I told you, communication is key for the project. 70% of the work a project manager does is related to communication. What is communication? Is using assertive words, is using positive language, is using a method that will allow other people to react positively to your message. So things that you can learn if you want to, something that is called NLP. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, will make you a really good communicator. Another method that you can use is something that is called assertive communication. Assertive communication will allow you to use positive words instead of negative ones. Always people react better to positive words, always. Always people react better to positive words, all right? So keep that in mind in terms of communication, all right? If you want to go back to this, you can go back later, but the detail is not what really matters here. All right, go to the next one. So here we have a group discussion. We're going to discuss, not for 10 minutes, but we're going to discuss briefly what have we learned so far. All right. So Michael, something that you have learned today, if any. I know that you have experience, but something that you have learned today.
Something very important that I write down here, Santi, that I did not recognize it. I didn't have in my mind so far. But you know, when you went to motivate the stakeholders, you know, you have to keep in mind how the age they are. You see, as you told me, If your stakeholder is between 20 to 30 or 25 to 35,
recognition. Yeah.
they're looking for recognition. You see, this is a political way, you see, to get them involved with the project. 35 to 50, they are more interested in money.
Yeah.
And so far, 50, after 50, perhaps in time, you know. So when you approach them, when you knock the door to, you know, to invite them to be part of the team, to be involved with the project, perhaps it's a good way, you know, to how to get them motivated to get inside the project, to be part of the team, you know.
And this is what senior project managers do. They have the experience of working with hundreds of people. They understand the drivers of.
Yeah, I never thought about this way, but I thought it's very useful. Very useful.
Fantastic. Albert, something that you have learned today, Mike? We cannot hear you, Albert.
Oh, sorry. You really emphasize the need to sign up from stakeholders whenever things start or when things change, like in written form, to stick to the plan, to identify the motivations of everybody. That also was pretty important.
And sticking to the plan is very important too, because this is methodical. Project management is not subjective, it's methodical. So sticking to the plan is really important. And that was a really good point too, Albert. Yeah, something else?
No, that's it. Yeah, for now.
Good. Sticking to the plan. Fantastic way to remember this class. Fantastic way, because now we know that we need to follow a method. This is not, I feel like today doing this. No, there is a plan. Awesome. Alvin, anything that you can remember out of today's class?
It's keeping all stakeholders accountable towards their responsibilities.
Correct. Very important. All the stakeholders, if they have, or if they are included, sorry, in the stakeholder grid, in the stakeholder Excel form, in the stakeholder register, which is how we call it, you need to clarify what is the role and responsibility of that particular stakeholder against the project. Good on ya.
Yeah, Santi, so just for adding, but
yep.
Who's the most of this process must have more accountability is the sponsor, right?
100%. 100% actually.
You know, but the stakeholders are responsible, you know, for
yes.
The accountability is related to the sponsor, right?
100% man.
You know,
like that's the entire point.
Because
yes.
when you are attending the meetings with your team members, possibly you have an extra meeting with only the sponsor, you know, like what were the main points were discussed on that meeting with the stakeholders that the sponsor must know, he must be aware of that.
How good is that? We have learned today the difference as well between accountability and responsibility. Accountability, top level, responsibility below. That's something right. Goes wrong and you are accountable, you go to jail. or you need to pay out of your own pocket because you are accountable. You need to account for your decisions and you will be judged for those decisions. That's why project sponsors, they are not responsible for the project, they are accountable for it.
That's right.
And that's why they say yes at the beginning of the project when they approve it, or they say no, you know, this is not a project that will be run in this company. All right, responsible, they are responsible of a task, but they are not accountable for the project. So the project manager is responsible for the project as a whole, but not accountable. The project team members, they are responsible for the individual task of the project. All right. And I appreciate that. And that is something that we're going to talk a lot as we advance. but accountability, top level, responsibility just below that. That's why if you have anybody in a company, you have a structure at the top, directors, then managers, and below staff. Anyone that is at the top level of the company, we call them directors. Company directors, by law, if they do something wrong, they go to jail. They are accountable for their decisions. They can go to jail in Australia and in the majority of democratic countries. They are associated with the company directly. That's why they're called directors. They make decisions. So they are accountable. And that's why, guys, your project sponsor minimum will be a director. It could be the founder, as Michael was saying, could be the founder of the company, but minimum will be a director. You don't want a project sponsor to be anyone below a director level. All right. So it's people that is making already $200, $250, $300,000 per year. It's someone that has, I'm going to tell you something, all right? Experience, seniorship is important in project management. So the project sponsor is someone that is 60, 65 in a normal, traditional, large corporation, all right? It's someone that is mature enough, that has been a project manager for 20 years before, right? It's someone that is just so experienced. It's a different kind of cut, all right? It's a very, very, very experienced person. That's why they are sponsors. And majority of times they don't do any job, Mike. They just say yes or no. And people that is not aware of how businesses work, they go like, oh, but that director, he or she never do anything. He or she arrives 10 a.m. in the morning and they leave 2 hours later. Who cares? They say yes or no, and they're accountable for that decision. If they fail in 3 decisions, 3 projects, they fail, everything that they spend all their life, all the career, all the master degree, all the PhD, all the reputation gone. And the risk is huge. That's why when they make $250, $300, $400,000 per year, they earn it. They sacrifice it family, they sacrifice it time with friends. They sacrifice it freedom just to be studying and working hard to get to that point. So fair enough that they make that money. Fair enough. It's at the top level, all right? So yeah, Michael, I appreciate that you have touched on that, because that is what allows us to discuss in more deep what is important in this class. Thank you for coming back, Joa, and for the message. I appreciate how engaged you are and how responsible you are with the program in terms of attendance, in terms of assistance. By the way, all these classes, Albert, Damian, Michael, are being recorded. So you will receive a link to these classes once they are, once the system processes the class recording, which is a little bit of time, like 2 days, because it's a 3-hour class, right? But you can watch the class later on, but you miss the interaction with me. But you know what I mean? So Joanna, Alvin, they're always here, you know, and that makes a difference in the assessments. That makes a difference in terms of what they know. So my invitation is don't get comfortable with the class. Oh, the classes are recorded, so I'm going to miss the Saturday. No, don't do that. Be responsible. The best way to be happy, is to be responsible. I was just being asked by my wife, hey, Santi, how do you feel after 3 weeks of being in a break? I love it. I love to be giving classes again. I don't like to be doing nothing. It gives you happiness. You came to the class on Saturday, you make it a religion. All classes, 9 a.m., 12, I make it. Promise you, 6 months later, you are flying in project management. All right, so let's continue with the lesson only for 20 minutes more, and then we finish with the class. Now, before I go to the lesson, I'm going to share my screen to tell you what is the homework for this next week. So you need to go to the chapter number 13 of the PMBOK. Chapter number 13. For those of you watching the recorded class, the PMBOK is in the resources tab of your platform. So you need to go from the page number, from the chapter number 13, which is the page 661, and you need to consume. That is the right word, all right? You need to consume, you need to eat this content. And you need to go all the way to the page 701. So it's 40 pages. So it's, you know, it's 40 pages of self-study. Is there an assessment about it? No. I will be asking you if you did it. No. But that is your journey. 661, 71, 40 pages that will make you ready for what is coming next class. What is next class? The assessment. All right. So everything that we are learning today and everything that you will learn when you read that chapter will be assessed next class. So next class, we do the assessment in real time. In the very class, we do it, not afterwards. So just be informed that if you want to pass that assessment, if you really want to be ready for that day, you need to make sure that you watch the lesson. You may want to rewatch this recording that we are doing, but make sure that you read the chapter 13 in the PM book. All right. All right, so we have done the group discussion. Good. All right, we also need to distribute the work. So we need to make sure that we give people tasks that are related to their skills. All right, and if we have someone that doesn't have the enough skills to develop or to execute a task, we need to train that person. So the project manager needs to be able to train others. Otherwise, the project manager needs to get a different company or different person to offer training. Right, that is very important too. All right, now, once people have finalized the task they need to do, all right, because remember, you are giving people instructions, all right, in the project, this is what you need to do. You need to do that, and so on. Once you give these instructions to people, then you need to run performance reviews. So what are performance reviews? You have a set of KPIs. Who knows what a KPI is? Joanna, KPI.
Key performance indicators.
Once we have the KPIs, then we can run the performance reviews. We need to have the KPIs first, the key performance indicators, all right? Once we have them established, then only then we can do the performance review. So for example, a KPI may be, your task is to develop a website for this project, because we want people in the community to have access to information related to this project. We are going to publish this information in our website to get feedback from the community and so on. And then you go and say, okay, cool. That is my responsibility. I accept it. And then you will say, all right, cool. You have 2 months to finalize the website, and the KPI will be that the website is secure, is a safe website, that the website is responsive, so people can access to it using different devices, and that the website has all the information related to the core of the project, the scope of it. All right, cool. 2 months pass by, you meet with that person, and then you go, show me the website. And then you go with the KPI. Is the KPI 100% safe, secure? Has it a HTTPS protection? Yes. All right, pass it. Is the website dynamic and responsive? 100%? Not 50%? Yes. Is the website? All right. So that's how you run it. You need to develop first what is the metric that you will be evaluating. The metric. And we call that metric the KPI. That KPI depends on the project, of course. And that's why we have these one-to-one opportunities that in the week, 2 days per week, for you and I to meet and run your project. Because you can ask me, Santi, these are my KPIs. Are they associated properly to the project? Yes or no? We discuss these sort of things. Right? Whereas now, in this moment, I only can explain to you from a top overview perspective what a KPI is and why we need a KPI to do the performance review. That's it. But if you want to go to the detail, use the Calendly option. Guys, the performance review is done as the project life cycle advances. So project life cycle is something that could be difficult for you to understand now, but every project is divided in stages. So imagine that you have a project for 6 months and you divide it in 3 stages. What will be the duration of each stage? 2 months, isn't it? Before we jump from stage 1 to stage 2, we have a gate, a project gate between these 2 stages. We do the performance review there at the stage level, at gate level. All right, always. It's not that, I'm going to do the performance review tomorrow. No, you do the performance review once we have finalized the project stage in the project life cycle. Let's imagine that we are building a house. All right, that is the project. Who can tell me what are the stages of building a house? The most important one. The most important ones. Building a house, Damian.
The constructor.
What are the stages to build a house? Yes.
The stage to build a house?
Yeah, the stages or the steps or the process.
The foundation.
The foundation of the house will be the first one. So foundation will be a stage 1. What will be the next one?
The slab.
All right. All the flooring and all the structure of the house. What will be the next one?
The electricity. The electricity, the
plumbing. All right, beautiful. So that's what I mean. Once you do the foundation, you have a group of people doing the foundation of the house. Once you have finalized it with that stage, only then you can go to the next stage. So once you finish with the foundation according to the project deadlines, at that moment, you do the performance review. Only at that moment. So you know that that week is performance review week, which is you talking to everyone that did the foundation of the house, and you ask them, all right, let's find out if you actually did this properly. And then if they pass it, everything is positive, everything was done properly, only then you move to the next stage. Let's say that the next stage is the plumbing and electricity. You will have a different set of people, group of people doing that. Once the electricity and the plumbing is done, you will ask them, all right, next week performance review, because we finished with this stage. Next stage will be putting, the dry walls and the roofing and everything else. You need to have this ready. And then you say, all right, yes, everything is okay. Everything is compliant in terms of electricity and plumbing. Now let's go to the next stage. So what is the project life cycle? PLC, project life cycle, is dividing the project into logical sections. We call this section stages, and you do the performance review of your team between the 2 stages, and that is called a project gate. A lot of information, I know, but as we advance, I promise you, you will get this to detail. Alvin, Joanna, you have been in the program for 3 months or more. You understand what the project life cycle is, the stages and the gates now, yes? All right, cool. All right.
Just
Yep.
one little question. When you talk about life cycle, it's the 4 steps in project management.
So the project life cycle starts with what we call the project chapter, which is the very beginning of the project, and it ends when we dismantle, when we finalize the project, and we tell people in the project team to go back to wherever they belong. So that is a cycle. Okay. And in that cycle, which could be that cycle in Australia, I'm going to tell you about Australia, usually is 6 months. Usually. All right. Remember what I told you. Project management is temporary. All right. So usually projects run for 6 months. When you work in an advertising company or marketing company, you develop a project with a client. Usually it takes 3 months. But it could go from 3 months to 6 months, depending on what is the kind of campaign that you're running. Now, if you're doing a macro project could be building an airport, or a macro project could be building the oil pipeline that goes from Canberra to, that is a project, or macro project could be to develop the next highway. That is different. Those are macro projects, or the next train station. That could take years. That's different, but that is very, very particular, macro projects. But a project usually is temporary. No, always temporary, usually 6 months. So If you have a 6 months project, it makes sense to divide that project in 3 stages.
Santi,
Go ahead.
just for adding again,
Please, thank you. Yes.
during these phases that we're talking about, about if you divide the project, the life cycle in 3 phases, you can have a stakeholder in your team, with an expertise on this kind of stuff, right? Because when you goes on to another phase on this gap, he can think, for you, hey, like a checklist, right?
Yes, yes.
The project manager gives to this guy who is in charge for that, who makes part of the team, who is a stakeholder of this project. Well, he confirms, with everything which was desired on the beginning to pass through this phase is done, if it's correctly done, you see.
That is so spot on. We have access, and this is one of the best things about project management. Thank you, Michael, for raising this up. Alvin knows this, Joanna knows this as well. We can access to something that is called expert advice. And that person could be the one doing the performance review. In other words, that will be the person doing the ticking that Michael is mentioning before. And that is awesome because you don't need to know everything about that particular project at deep level. You need to know everything at top level, surface level. But then you say, look, I don't know about websites. I know everything about, I don't know, production and industrialization and operations and safety. But websites, social media, communication with, I don't have idea about that. I know a little bit, but not much. You may say, so I'm going to call in an industry expert to be the person that will be assessing the completion of this stage, which is awesome. I love it, man. When I work as a project manager, I abuse experts, because in project management, it is totally okay to have experts. I'm going to tell you something. There are companies in Australia, everywhere in the world that are offering this kind of services of experts. Ernst & Young, Deloitte, KMPG, AMP, Accenture. These companies, they provide experts to companies that are working on projects. And they charge a bit of money, but the service is fantastic because they take on responsibility of assessing if a stage has been completed properly or not. And they do this through something that is called auditing, project auditing. Consultancy is fantastic. So that's what I do. When I run a project, I call in experts. I never say, oh, I know everything. I never say that. Even if I know, I say, yes, I can manage the project. That's it. But I invite people that are experts to actually do the checking list. That's beautiful about the project, and it's going to be always in the process of project. Let me show you just this, guys. Now that we're talking about it, go to the chapter 13 as we were talking about. You don't need to go. I'm going to share my screen. You stay there. All right, project stakeholder management. This is the process. Let me check the processes. All right. So here, these are the processes in project management always, guys. You're going to see more and more about this. We always have inputs, we have tools and techniques, and then we have outputs. As you can see, what Michael was saying is this particular part that is called expert judgment. You see, you always can have experts helping you. Expert judgment here, expert judgment there, expert judgment here. In this one that is monitor people, you don't have expert judgment because you need to do it, all right? But everything else, you can have experts. So that is really important. By the way, when you study the PM book, when you see the processes, inputs, tools, and technical outputs, pay attention to that graphic. That graphic is really, really important. It's going to be very alien to you now. You just started this program and you don't have the experience Michael has, okay? But that is really the mapping of the processes. Yeah, and if you want to go to the detail, everything will be there in the next pages, all right? Inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs, and so on. You continue, and you read about that. And then you will have the next graphic coming up. There you go. Inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. This is what you really need to focus in. Everything there is an explanation of that. Right. So that's just for you to understand how to study this PM book. All right. So now we can pass all of these, guys, and that's it. At the end.
Just a question about the expert. If you are choosing to take an expert in your project management, does he have all the responsibilities and accountability, or you still keep?
That's a really good question. If you invite an expert to the project, the expert is responsible for the delivery of that expertise. The expert is responsible for it.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
The project manager is responsible to make that expert to provide a report about what was the result of that expertise. But the accountability of that expert working on the project goes to the project sponsor.
Okay.
Always that you see the word accountability, think project sponsor. Always that you think about the word responsibility, think about the project manager and project team members. Guys, as you can see, once you have finalized the lesson, you have this kind of award, which is you passing one assessment. All right. So if you can see the results, you know, you can go and see, all right, everything that you have done. Your platform looks different to mine. Mine is the teacher's one again. All right. But that's what you need to get. You need to get to that point when you get that little award. And that is the lesson. All right. So pay attention to what I'm going to tell you. Today we have finalized the lesson. Everybody that is here today or watching the recording needs to have the lesson completed by next week. It's just a matter of clicking those buttons and obviously, guys, watching the videos and reading a little bit and going through the content. This is for compliance purposes. This counts as an assessment. If you don't finish the lesson, you are not going to receive the certificate, the diploma at the end. You know what I mean? Which is something that you need to do. Joa, I know how good you are, but you need to do that. All right? Joa, you need to go to the lessons and finish all of it.
Started the lessons, but I didn't like submit it at the end.
Okay. You need to do that because you are halfway the program and stuff like that. Joa, when you see observation assessments, don't worry about them because I will be doing those for you because you have been participating. So I will doing those assessments for you. But the quizzes you need to complete as well. All right. So try to start working on it, Joa. Diego, Damian, Alvin, Michael, thank you for coming to the class. I appreciate the participation. I'm going to call it a day. All right. Remember to use the Calendly link. I reckon I already got 2 appointments from those from you guys. If anything, send me an email. Remember the homework. Remember the homework. The homework is very simple. It's to read, is to consume, is to eat the chapter 13 of that book. So you and we are ready for the assessment next week. If you do the assessment next week in class with me, that's it. You finish the unit. No worries. Then we jump next week to the next unit. We need to complete 12 units in this program. Once we complete 12 units, you receive the diploma. All right. Thank you. I will see you soon. Any questions before we finish? All good? Enjoy it.
Bye,
Joe.
Nice to meet you, everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks, Santi. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.